Welcome to the 8:30 show. If you like our content, please feel free to like and subscribe. Today we are talking about the audacity of people.
Caucasities.
I didn't say that. I said the audacity.
I said it. And
Yeah, whatever. So one of the things that I've seen a lot on, not only on TikTok where we always go, but on Instagram, is what people call the Karens. And these people, or the Kens, I believe, or Kevin, I don't know which one they're trying to
it's
do, but
Karen and Ken.
Ken, right? Yeah,
Sometimes it's a
some
Kevin
Kevin,
though.
yeah. Which is sad for Kevins in the world,
And Kens.
yeah. But
Oh
and for
well.
the ones really named Karen, wow.
Oh
Um
well.
I feel for you. No, because they're getting a bad rap because that's a real
Well, they,
name.
they should
No,
speak to
that's their
the Karen
real.
and Ken and Kevin Association and let them
What
know.
association? We've all labeled them that.
Just like, sometimes I got to go talk to the black delegation about things.
Anyway, so talking about that, I find it interesting, especially now. Maybe it's been happening and we just, because there's cameras everywhere now, we get to see it.
Yeah.
But people walking up to other people, just telling them like, where do you live here? You don't belong here. Go back to your wherever you came from,
Who
like that.
sent you?
What That's crazy when you tell somebody to go back to their country, or you have no idea. And then the thing is that you're 9 times out of 10, it's a white person, and I feel like you don't belong here either. This is not your country. This is, you know,
Stolen land.
stolen. Yeah, it
You don't
is
want to say it?
by them, and they should go back to their country, right? But I feel that I just don't understand where these people got this nerve to walk up to random people of color and ask them, do you, or block them, do you live here? I don't have to add, do you live here, white lady? Like,
Yeah.
who told you to come up to people of color and start asking those questions? And I think the audacity of these people. You don't pay for my life. You don't have any input on what I do on my day to day. And in regards to where I live, I mean, what makes you think you have the right to ask me that? I should be. And then the people that are being harassed, like, I know they have to deal with whatever they're dealing with in that moment, but I feel like they should flip it on them. Like, do you live here? Yeah, I live here. Okay, so show me your ID. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
So
But sorry, just let me finish. I just feel like it's a completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Not self-righteous, but they feel like, because they are a certain color of
arrogance.
skin, yeah, and
That's
they
what it is.
feel entitled. That's the word I'm looking for. They feel entitled, and I'm like, why? Who gave you that entitlement? Because I'd like to get some of that. I told you before, Dave and I get, well, we get treated poorly when we're out. Not all the time, but a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, we haven't experienced the Karens. Like yesterday, we went to Target, and where we followed around, I don't know, because I'm kind of not looking for it anymore. At that point, I was trying to get the fuck out because we ended up buying more toys. So I was like, I gotta go, because there was other things there that I wanted in it before we leave, and we're like $400 in. So I was just like, let me get out of here. So I get in line. There's two lanes open, whatever, two registers. And the lines are outrageous. And then you got your self checkout, which that's even longer. So I get in line, and there's a lady in front of me just standing there, and there's another lady in front of her, and they're talking amongst each other, and they're kind of like, well, I don't understand why they don't have another register open. And there's a short lady and a tall lady, and the tall lady's like, yeah, I know. She's like, I've been standing here for quite some time. And the shorter lady, she's just like, this is ridiculous. Like, they shouldn't have us here. Look at all these people, all these employees walking around, and they could just open another register. And this lady begins to say or holler, she yells out and says, "You guys need to open another register." But like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Why do you have to do that? And of course, they did it. Because I'm assuming they want to, you know, handle the situation, especially because it was some white lady that yelled it out. I feel like if it would have been one of us, they would have looked at us like, what the fuck? Hostile. Let's call the cops.
But I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. But I felt like why are you yelling this? You don't know what these employees walking around are doing. That's not their job. You got your stock people, you got your returns people, like you got all these different positions.
yeah.
I'm sure you've never worked at Target before. I never have, but I assume that everyone has their own position and they're not cashiers. So that you see them walking around because they're doing their job, and that's not being a cashier. So they called out this gentleman. He came out, he took the ladies, and they're still complaining. They're still complaining. And so we get to the register, we put all our stuff on there, we get the fuck out. They're still in line. We got out of there before they did, and we were behind them. But because they felt that entitlement, like, oh yeah, they opened a register, yeah, I'm on my way, and they went, and for some reason we ended up leaving before them.
Yeah.
And there were two people still ahead of us, two,
Yeah.
and they were still in line waiting to be, like, one lady was still like in the process, but the other one was waiting on the other lady. And I'm just like, see, we ended up getting out of here. Like, just be patient. Why do you have to do all this? There's no need for all the commotion or yelling at employees. Like, I don't understand why people think that they are entitled to do that. Yes, we pay because we want it, but that doesn't give us the right to treat people poorly.
So in some instances, I do understand where customers are coming from. Specifically the bank. If you only have one teller open and you see it's 1,000 people inside the bank, not trying to do like new accounts or some other investment area, they're in line for the teller. Yeah, open up another line just to get the people out. Who's waiting on the teller. So I do I mean, I get the frustration here. I've never had the gall to go and yell out, where is the other tellers at? I who knows? They could be on lunch. It could have been just a rush that came in.
Yeah, I hear you.
As far as the Target yesterday, like, same thing. They could have been on the people that are able to run the cashier or cash register, should I say. Maybe they were not available. Maybe they were on lunch. Maybe it was a rush of people just trying to get out. I mean, this Target does have self checkout. Self checkout was also kind of busy, so it was just a busy moment in Target day, I guess you could say. But as far as the entitlement and everything that goes on, like, I've seen countless of videos of these type of scenarios happening, and one of the scenarios I saw that always, like, I wanted to see the part two, and they didn't film a part two, was a young man. He was doing DoorDash or whatever, but he was covering for his mother, who she's the one that did it. Excuse me. She's the one that does the DoorDash, but I guess whatever her issue was, he was covering. Yeah, he was covering for her and taking the orders and delivering them. He goes to this, I guess it's an apartment complex, and this lady, mind you, this is a young black kid. Doesn't seem like he's, you know, out to do any harm. He's just trying to deliver this product and get the fuck on. This lady's like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" Mind you, the guy has already, like, punched a number into the apartment, spoken to the apartment person, and, like, she's starts sweating him. He's like, "Man, I'm just here to deliver the food, and that's it. I don't live here. I'm door dashing. She's like, well, I don't see a delivery car, and you just walked up. It's like, yeah, he probably did just walk up and you didn't see his car, because his car could be somewhere else parked. It doesn't have to be parked in front of
A
the building.
moron. Okay.
Yeah. So she goes on and on about she's lived there for thousands of years, and she knows every single recipient that lived in there, that left and still lives there, yada yada yada.
Okay, Marge.
Hold
So
on, hold on. So
that's
then
crazy.
he's like trying to be considerate and patient with the lady and respectful. He goes back to the thing and calls the tenant, and it's like, look, can you come down, because I'm being harassed trying to deliver your product, your
By this
food.
old bat.
And the lady like bogarts to talk shit to the person that the guy that's delivering is
I
not.
hope he talks
Wait,
shit to her.
it's not a delivery person. Is trying to get into the apartment complex,
Yeah.
and all the while he's filming, and you see he has a bag of goods. He's got the receipt, affixed to the bag, and he's still constantly just like, lady, I don't want to do this. I just want to drop this off and go about my way. And the person on the intercom is like, yeah, I ordered their DoorDash. I live in an apartment, blah blah blah, and I've lived here for a while. Who are you? Who the hell is? She's like, well, I'm such and such, and I've lived here 1,000 years, and back before electricity, I was here.
I knew Jesus.
Yeah. So it goes on like that, back and forth for a while, but then in the end, the video ends up, ending, but you don't get the resolution. And I went to go look to see if there was a part two, because I was like,
I need
want
the
to
resolution.
see, yeah, I need to see the tenant who actually ordered the food to
I
come
need the
out.
resolution.
Because I look at it like this: if that was me and I ordered DoorDash, and the DoorDash delivery person is getting harassed, I don't care what race they are, what nationality, I don't care who they are, and I got somebody else who's holding up my delivery,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out there and give them a actual monetary tip from my wallet, but I'm gonna go out there and cuss this other person out to high heaven. I'm gonna talk about how they look, how they smell, how they eye color, they
David.
clothes. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna talk to them like trash.
Yeah.
And then when I see them again, I'm gonna wave to them, be like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" Maybe next time you leave the delivery people alone.
I don't understand people like that. I don't understand what makes them think that they can just walk up to anybody and ask them anything. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're white. It has everything to do with that white privilege. Like, remember that I feel this is my favorite so far. It happened during the pandemic, during George Floyd protests and all of that, and it was the Native American girl who slapped the bejesus out of that attorney.
Oh, that was wonderful.
That was glorious. Like, I felt like her people stood behind her in that moment, in the moment of contact.
she
It
got-
was like it was like a blip, and it just
She summoned the ancestor, the
She
native
sure did.
ancestors, and walking barefoot, and
Yeah.
and wild wolf,
Yeah.
and howling moon dog. And he slapped the
yeah. I'm not gonna be disrespectful to the Native American people about their names, but
But you know what I mean.
No,
I'm not
I
being
do know.
disrespectful,
I
but,
do know. But yeah, no, she slapped the fucking holy shit out of that
Slapped
woman,
that.
and she deserved every fucking bit of that slap.
Yeah, she slapped the
Like,
European colonizer
Again,
out of her.
why do you think you can just walk up to people and ask them anything about what the fuck they're doing, and kicking them out of stores you don't even own, telling them to fucking leave? I just don't get that. Like, I don't understand. And I feel that the reason that a lot of people don't clap back like I would like them to is because we've been told not to, and a lot of us don't. You know what I mean? We don't talk back because we already know who the law is going to side with, and it ain't us. We had an incident You and I had an incident in West Hollywood. We were at my people's house and we were hanging out and we went outside.
Oh, is this
Uh
the suspected
oh yes,
rapist?
this, yeah. We went outside to smoke, and my friend, he had his dog and we were out there hanging out and stuff, just talking. You know,
Let
the
the
dog
dog do
was
his
not on the
thing.
leash. He was just doing his thing, pooping, peeing, whatever. And I see a couple walking down the street. Now, he lives in the heart of West Hollywood. So there's clubs and stuff, there's places, there's bars, whatever. So I'm assuming this couple's coming from, whatever place, because the girl kind of looked a little dressy.
Oh wait, hold on. Let's back it up a little bit. Mind you, when we came out, there were people walking up and down the street, just
Yeah, it's
minding their
very,
business, just doing their
yeah,
thing.
they walk their dogs or
Yeah,
they're just taking a walk. Like it's you'll see it a lot. People walk around the neighborhood. It's not like a bad neighborhood like
yeah.
that, or so we thought. So we're standing out there and I tell him, my friend, I'm like, get your dog because there's a couple coming. So he's like, no, she'll be fine. She's not, because she's not an aggressive dog. So they're coming and she looks white. She's got blonde hair and she's light skinned. And the gentleman was short and he had like colored eyes. And I that's other than that, he was thin, he was short, he was
He had a hoodie
Caucasian.
on,
He had a hoodie
backpack.
on, yeah, backpack
Yeah,
and dark clothes basically. And the girl had on a white blouse, black pants. She was a little dressy. So I thought they were just going home or, whatever. And then the girl runs up to me, drunk as fuck. And she's like, please help me, please help me. She's like, he won't leave me alone. And I'm like, and the guy stood back because he was baffled by what she did. And me and David are standing there, and David kind of like he overheard her say, please help me. And he kind of just took a step in front of us. And the guy just stood at the curb. He's like, come on, let's go. And she's like, please help me, please help me. I don't know him. He took my cell phone. And I'm like, what do we do? Hold on. And she's crying. She's
yeah.
bawling her eyes out. And I'm trying to understand her. She has an accent. She's drunk. And
Drunk
I'm
is an
just like,
understatement.
yeah. And I'm just like, okay, hold on. What's going on? And she's like, right here. Like, she will not get away from my side. And she's like glued to me. I'm like, okay, it's okay. What's wrong? And she tells me this guy has, followed her out of the club. She lost track of her friends. And I'm assuming they're just as drunk as she is. And this guy followed her and he was supposedly trying to help her get an Uber, and he ended up taking her phone and told her like, let's go over here. And she's like, no. And from there, she's just been walking, trying to get away from
Yeah,
him. So he's like, come on, let's go. He's like, we don't know these people. I said, well, she doesn't know you.
yeah. Right.
She doesn't know you. She's not going anywhere. And he was like, why don't you like stay out of it? And Dave's like, no, so we're trying to take care of the situation. And then at some point, I felt like it was escalating because the guy kept trying to get closer to me and Dave kept moving with him. And so I tell my friend, because my friend just stood there on the spot, like
He
he
froze.
he froze, he was scared because it kind of got a little intense. And he's like, he's just standing there frozen. And I tell him, go inside and call the sheriff, because the sheriff is out there in West
Yeah,
Hollywood.
in that area.
So I'm still standing there and she's like, please don't let him take me, please don't let him take me. I was like, no, you're not going anywhere, you're here, you're with us, you're fine, you're safe. And she's like, I'm so scared. And she's like, I'm talking to her, and now David's talking to the guy, and the guy's like, I'm not going to leave her here with you guys, I don't know you. And he's like, well, she doesn't know you either, and she feels safer with us, she came to us,
Yeah.
she ran from you to us, and she doesn't want to go with you. Look at her, she's crying, and the guy was just like, well, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, I'll call the cops. And we're like, call them, call
Be
them.
my guest.
So he
Be my
calls the
guest.
cops, And he puts him on speaker. Like, he's fully cooperating. Like, he really knows this girl. I think he wanted to take it to the end of the line, to where we were eventually going to be like, okay, yeah, you know, he knows her. Like, go with him. Girl was not moving. So he calls the cops, and, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm here with my girlfriend. She's like, I'm not his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, come on. She's like, I'm not his girl. I was like, she said that's not her boyfriend. And he's like, she's drunk. She doesn't know what she's saying. I was like, we think he's trying to hurt her. She's saying she doesn't. I'm yelling this out.
Yeah.
And at some point it got heated between him and David. So I had to calm that situation down, because he put his hand behind his back like he had something. So David, you know, at the time he carried a knife. And so he pulls out, like, he's about to pull out his knife. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, I pulled it out.
Well, all right, whatever. You know, it's years ago, but
Yeah, I
whatever.
pulled it out,
So,
and I was waiting for him to bust a move.
So I had to calm that shit down, and I'm in the middle of calming everything down, and my friend comes out, and he's like, I called, and I'm like, okay. And he still has the phone on speaker, and, you know, and I'm like, you need to send somebody, because this guy, I don't know who this guy is, and she's terrified. She's crying. She's drunk. We need help. So sheriffs come.
Yeah.
The fucking sheriff shows up.
And we're like, hooray, they're going to do something. And
so the moment they turn the corner, dude stops talking, turns, and goes in the opposite direction,
and then starts booking it.
And well, he wasn't running, because had he run, that would call attention to him. He walked fast.
Yeah.
But he walked away. And they see us there, and I'm like, I'm telling the girl, I believe her name was Danielle, and she was an actress. I don't know what she was in. I didn't recognize her. I'm assuming she's an extra.
Actress,
yeah, you know, whatever.
Trying to get into business.
So the sheriff gets out of the car, and Dave runs out, and he's like pointing in the direction that the guy is going, and he's like, he's over there, and the sheriff saw this big ass tall black man and got aggressive with him instead.
Yeah. And let the perpetrator go.
And the guy got away. Now, prior to that, a couple weeks prior to that, there were reports that women had been raped and stabbed.
Yeah, in that area.
So what makes me think this guy wasn't that? Yeah. Was he ever caught? I don't know. We were just trying to help the girl, and the cops jump out and come for David. And they're like, the guy, he was such an arrogant piece of shit sheriff in West Hollywood. He was like, hold on, shut up. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he was like, what's going on here? And I was like, you are letting him get away. Well, we need to know what's going on. So the guy got away, and they're over here sweating David. What's your ID? And blah, blah, blah. And I had to, again, intervene and be like, she's in trouble. She was drunk. Yeah. I'll talk to you in a moment. Like, totally aggressive with us. And I was just like, fucking asshole.
It wasn't until the girl actually stepped up and also said, it's not them. They were helping me before he changed his entire tune.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And it was disgusting.
By that time, I didn't even want to talk to him anymore. I didn't.
It was disgusting
like,
how he came at us. And I understand, but just because you see this big ass black man doesn't mean that he's the one causing any issues. That's why I was saying in the last podcast, I don't give a fuck about your rights. I want you home because of treatment like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. They don't care.
You know, I get your point, but still.
But yeah, so... yeah, we tried to help somebody, and that's how we got treated. That's how we got treated. And that goes all the time with different people and different scenarios. And yeah, you have to have someone that's not of color speak up for you. And
that's the sad part.
Yeah. There was a video of a guy who got he got beat up. He got beat up by some white guy, and they surrounded the black guy arrested him, had him handcuffed on
like,
the
dude, I'm the
car.
victim.
And the lady, a white lady, had to run up and yell at them and tell them, he wasn't the person. You let the person get away. He was the one being harassed. He's the one who got beat up.
Yeah.
He's the victim here. And they until she said something, it didn't change anything. They assumed they had the right person because he was of color.
So yeah, it happened. These type of things happen all the time. We see this stuff on the internet all the time on different social media platforms, and like I said, it's crazy how a lot of people, regardless of the police, but a lot of people just think that they have the unmitigated gall to come and talk to somebody out of character and out of turn, like,
Yeah.
and then get upset when someone attacks them because they've verbally berated them. Like, you shouldn't have
Well,
even opened.
not
Well,
just.
well, no,
Oh,
hold on.
sorry, sorry.
You shouldn't have even approached this person. You shouldn't even sweated this person. And you want to ask somebody for you as a regular person want to ask somebody for their identification and who are you and what's your name. You know what my name is? Ezekiel. And you know what? Fuck you, Tony. But
Man.
like I don't get that. I don't get people coming up to me, hopefully I never will. I don't get that because I think I'm too big and too intimidating looking for people to really want to come and talk to me like that. And at the point that does, if that ever does happen, depending on how they approach me, they may get berated verbally as well. Like, get the fuck away from me.
I'm
Why
hoping
are you...
that doesn't happen to me. I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want to be somewhere and I'm being called Mexican because, as soon as you see me, especially if you're not Hispanic, you make assumptions of where I'm from.
Yeah.
And I get that a lot. I don't get offended. I don't care. Okay, sure, I'm Mexican, fine. I'm some type of Hispanic. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't bother me. What bothers me is people being disrespectful to my people, regardless of what country my people are from. We are united in that way, I guess.
My thing is, mind your goddamn business. It has nothing to do with you. Mind your business. Like, the other one I saw recently was, I don't know if this one was staged or not, because the way this lady ran up to this car, I guess they were at like a lake or something like that, sitting in their car.
Oh yeah, I know what you're
I
talking
don't
about.
know where the people were from. They did have an accent or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the lady like runs over, like, what's the security officer, Bart, and she runs over there and knocks on his window, and he's like, "What do you want? Why are you knocking on my window? Who are you?" And she's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here. We pay for the permitting here." And he's like, "What are you talking about? I can be here if I want to." And it's like, you don't know my reason for being here. You just come over here and assume some stuff. And then the thing that kills me is, I see this a lot in videos too that people post, is when they get on the phone, like they're calling, I don't know if they're pretending to call the police and try and strike fear in somebody, or they're calling the police or whatever whoever they're calling.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, ow, 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 they just hit me." And the other person is recording, like, "Are you really,
and
seriously?"
Okay. Okay. And then I feel like that is fraud.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fraudulent claim, and you should be arrested for that, because now you are, what is it? You're falsifying what's actually happening here, and you have it recorded. They should be going to jail because you called law enforcement and now you're lying to them, saying that this person is attacking you when none of that happened. You should be doing time for that. If not time, pay a hefty fucking fine.
Yeah.
The city needs the money.
Yeah. Well, there was a video. I like to watch First Amendment audits, And for those that don't know, First Amendment audits are when people go out and they film in a public space, and they're not there to get they're not there to get a rise out of officers, but they want to hold officers accountable, and as well as citizens who need to be educated on what your First Amendment is and your rights in that regard. Fifth, first, fourth, and fifth. That's kind of mainly what they do. Some of them do second as well because some states
Yeah.
allow for that. But anyway, I digress. So there was the auditor. It's a I think it's two or three auditors. They're doing their thing. They're on the sidewalk in public and they're filming. They call people in the business call the police. Well, the lady who called the police stated that the guy had a gun,
I remember.
and you had this whole barrage of tactical officers. You got, tell somebody, you tell police officers that there's a man with a gun, they're coming in hot. They're not coming in, regular, like, okay, let's just see what this is about. They're coming in hot. They're coming armed and ready for action. And so they figure out they ended up doing, their investigation to the degree to where they can figure out and understand what's going on. They go back and talk to the lady who called the cops and was like, who said who? Then they go and they're like, who is the person that called that said the guy had a gun? I need you to come out here. And at that point, I was like, hooray, she's going to get arrested because she made this claim.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes out and like he berates this lady for making that claim. And she's like, well, I thought because he goes, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
She knew what she was doing.
You didn't do that. You did that to get the police attention. Like we've can't come here to this place, but someone could have got seriously hurt here, injured, or possibly killed because you're telling dispatch it's a man with a gun. You didn't say I think he's armed, he may be armed. No, you're saying he has a gun and he's brandished a gun. These guys have no guns. They have nothing but cameras on them. So, he sweated her. He didn't fine her. He didn't take her to jail, which whatever, but he gave her a stern talking to and told her if he ever comes back out here and you make this kind of statement again and it comes out to be false, I'm taking you to jail. There's no if and
Yeah,
buts
no,
about
she
it.
needed to go then and there.
Yeah.
Cause she thought she could do something and it's illegal.
Yeah.
What she did. It's illegal. And they gave her a fucking pass. Now, I feel have that been someone of, black, brown, or yellow color. Because I say that because that's how they label it. They label us.
She would have been going to jail.
Jail, for
or
sure.
she would have got a ticket for
something. Something would have happened. Whether jail, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
It would have happened. And it didn't because I feel like they take care of their own like we take care of our own pretty much. And then, I want to talk about taking care of our own.
Well, before we move on to that,
Yeah.
or we can save that for another podcast episode. But I'm waiting for the day where people who make false claims and false accusations are held accountable for it.
Yes.
And hopefully that'll curb that because there's a lot of dangers that involved in making false accusations, especially in this day and age.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just with law enforcement, but just people in their everyday lives. I mean,
It happened to me.
You have hold on. You have entertainers and the such that get these claims made about them, and their careers get hindered or hurt from that, and it's hard for them to come back from that because now people don't want to. It's what happened to the day of innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like when someone makes an accusation that is actually false, then they should be able to take legal repercussions and sue the balls off of you. That's why with the whole situation with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, not to go deep into it, but the fact that he was able to do that and ended up winning, I felt like it was not vindication for Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
But it was vindication for people who these type of things come for, they come to them with, and they have no way to fight back. And this just shows that, yeah, you can. um,
Yeah.
and I feel like anyone who makes a false accusation on someone should take legal action, and maybe they won't do it again. Whether you know honor the judgment against that person and really like stick it to them, that's upon you. But these things need to be stopped in
No,
that regard.
I agree. I got into a car accident on my way to work one morning. It was five something in the morning, and
Hmm.
prior to that, I had incidents where I almost got hit by other cars, and the accident happened, it looks like it could have been my fault or 50%. So I told David I'm gonna buy a camera. I bought a decent camera off of Amazon. It has rear view,
Dash
whatever.
cam for people that.
Yeah. So I only connected the front. And so I'm on my way to work. This is probably a full year later after I bought the camera.
Hmm.
And I'm on my way to work, and all of a sudden, this man sideswipes me. He comes into my lane and hits me. And of course, I'm flipping out. I'm like yelling at him like he could hear me. Pull the fuck over. I'm losing my
Well,
mind.
that's what everyone does.
So, as we pull over, he delays getting out of his car. So I call David. It's five something in the morning. Dave's not awake. Dave's asleep. But the voicemail picks up, and what I didn't catch, or what I didn't intend on actually happening, was getting the guy to confess on voicemail that he hit me.
Yeah.
But I have it on camera anyway.
Hmm.
So he comes over. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yeah, of
sorry. I
course.
bent down to look for something, and I got into your lane. I hit your car. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's see how it looks." He goes, "Well, it's not that bad." And he tries to get in front of my car so that I won't see it. And of course, that pisses me off. And I tell him, "You need to move." So, and he moves, and I look, and I'm like, okay. So I start taking pictures of my car, because if you don't know what to do when you get into an accident, let me tell you, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to feel frazzled. You're going to be, the adrenaline is going to be coursing through you, and you don't know what to do. Don't ask questions other than, show me your driver's license and proof of insurance. So that way you can get a picture of that. Don't write shit down. Now, if you don't have a phone that takes pictures, which this day and age, I can't
Yeah.
imagine, but it happens. Take a picture of everything. Even if
Hmm.
it's on their phone, take a picture of everything. Take a picture of
Yep.
their car. Always take a picture of their car
And their
and
license
of
plate.
yours and their license plate, correct. If you can get them in frame, that's great. But if you can't, no worries. You got all the information that you need. So I tell the man to give me his information. He's like, "I'm so sorry. Can we do this outside of insurance?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, okay, let me have you." Now he's not happy that I'm not being cooperative. He's like, "Well, let me have your insurance and your drive." Sure, no problem. Here you
Like,
go.
I ain't got it.
Right? So I give it to him, and we take pictures and whatever. And then I said, "Okay, thanks." And I don't ask him anything. He came over and was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm so sorry, that I hit you," and blah, blah, blah. I didn't ask him for anything but his ID and his fucking insurance. Because when you start talking to them, telling them, "Oh, I'm so sorry for what happened," you're admitting fault, even though it's not your fault. And they will say that to your insurance company. "Well, why did she say she was sorry?" Obviously, it's because it was her fault. Like, think about that before you get out of the car talking. Now, if you're at fault, then yeah, you should be saying you're fucking sorry and admit to what you did, instead of being a piece of shit like he was, and went to his insurance company and said that I sideswiped him.
Yeah.
So they call me, my insurance. Oh no, I call them.
I wanna cut you off
Sorry,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
I wanna say this though. Um, the only thing you should really ask somebody when you're involved in an accident, either party, is if the other person is okay.
Fuck that.
You should, because if you need to call for
If it's major, yeah.
a medical assistance, that's the only thing you should
No, I
be
understand,
asking.
but if it's a fender bender like that,
Yeah, no,
no, I'm not gonna ask him shit.
no, but I'm just saying
No,
in
you're
general.
you're right. You're right. If it's like really bad, yeah, you should ask for, are you okay? Do you need an ambulance? Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
regardless of fault.
But if it's, a little side swipe like he did me, I'm not going to ask him shit. That's how I feel about it. You do whatever. So I call my insurance company. I give them the details. That's the end of that. They call me later and they're like, well, and their insurance adjuster would like to talk to you. And I told them I don't want to talk to them because what happens is that they take your story and the story you gave the other insurance company and they compare notes. So you only want to do that recording once. So I tell her, no, you can give them the recording I gave to you guys. And at this point, I have video, so I need to get that from my dash cam on my car. And once I have that, you guys have all the proof you need. And they're like, okay, well, we really need that because he's saying you hit him.
Good luck with that.
And I was blown away. I didn't tell him I had a camera, and don't do that. Don't get out of the car telling him I have a camera. No, don't say anything because of that. He just went and he tried to defraud his insurance company or mine. And to me, that's you're committing a crime here. Not that I'm some perfect person, but like right is right and wrong is wrong. And he was wrong in this instance. And I was right. And he tried to fuck me over. Now, had I not had that dash cam video, then I would have been 50% at fault because they try to always get you at 50%. And so I get home, David pulls the video, and sure enough, I'm in my lane and you see him come over and hit me. Perfect. It was perfect. And after that, they paid me out and it was a done deal. But had I not had that, I would have ended up being at 50% at fault. And my insurance rates would have gone up because of it. So you got your people that are just super shitty and super shady. And, if you don't have proof, if you don't have someone there to back you up or at least some footage, you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, that's always the case with insurance, auto insurance, but
I'm trying to scratch my face.
that's another topic.
No, I know, but we're talking about in regards to people saying one thing and doing another. And he admitted that he was at fault, but when he went to his insurance company, he lied. The lady called the cops and said there's a gun, but there was no gun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of older white ladies that I've seen, even younger. No, I'm not. Let me take that back. Just white people, white women that do that will lie and say that this person is harming them when in reality they're not. Nothing's happening and they just want something drastic to happen to them, which is fucking crazy. Does that not sound crazy to you when you're doing that? Like that just, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's countless videos online about people doing these type of things, and the way it's coming around.
It's just the audacity of these people is just
that they feel that they can do it. I mean,
unbelievable.
You've got people who have been killed for this type of thing. I mean, look at Emmett Till.
She lied and he didn't even whistle at her.
Yeah, the most world-renowned video, or not video, but world-renowned story of someone being falsely accused, and the audacity of someone to accuse somebody of this.
And that woman lived the rest of her life free, and just living life. And, I don't know if she felt any remorse. She probably said she did. I don't know. I'm not this person. Too little, too late. Yeah. I get that. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if she felt any remorse for what she did, the lie that she told. The audacity for me, it's like, you waited this long to actually say something. You didn't say something before they killed this poor kid. You didn't say anything like I didn't
When
want
they
to get
killed
in
this poor,
trouble. Like
before or
you'd
after they
rather
killed the kid, you
hold
didn't say
on, you'd
nothing.
rather not get in trouble and allow someone to lose their life. I don't get that. I will never understand people, because people have done that through the ages, and they sit there and they lie about what's going on, and all in the name of I didn't want to get in trouble. But this person now, doesn't exist on this planet anymore because you told a lie, or you've ruined their lives because you didn't want to get in trouble for, so you go and you claim rape, and now this guy is in jail for I don't know how long over this rape that never happened. There's a couple stories like that have gone through the news, where these girls claim they got raped by these football, whatever, college students, and ruined their lives. I mean, they had all this potential, all this shit, but because she was white, and I don't see it any other way, really. Like, I really don't. I don't see it any other way, because I feel like had she honestly been of color, they wouldn't have taken any of this as serious. But because she was a white girl, they had to make the black guy look, they had to make him pay.
Well,
And he did pay. He paid with his future, because now he didn't have the future he was supposed to have, because we can't rewind time. We can't stop these people from telling these lies or from retry. They can retract, but what kind of change is that? They owe this man his future, and that's lost and gone forever. It's I don't get people and how they
well,
can do that.
I forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. But
Also,
anyway,
I want to talk about something, and I'm gonna bring it up, and I know you wanted to talk about it in another podcast, but I'm not.
just go ahead.
I am.
Let it.
I am. Let me say it. So the Audacity, this is what the show's about, the Audacity. And I feel like some people take it too far in regards to, asking people where they're going, asking where they're living. Do you live here? Why are you here? What business do you have here? Kicking them out of stores that they don't belong in. And then you got your people that don't want to do shit for themselves. They're out in the street asking for money and, claiming my family's homeless and all this and that. And a lot of videos have been caught of these people going into these nice cars and going home with the money, that the dollar bills that everybody's like donating.
Yeah, it's
and
called
then
Who's the Mac by Ice Cube.
yeah. And then you got your other people that that are in your life, and that they don't want to do a goddamn with their life, but yet they want to call you and ask you for money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always willing to help somebody out. I'm always willing, David.
Yeah.
You're always willing to help somebody out in their time of need. And I have those people that they do need help and they don't ask. They never ask until I find them crying, talking about I can't buy food, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, why are you not saying something? Like, I will
Right.
help you. I will buy you groceries. You know what I mean? I'll go with you to the store. And these are people that I trust and that I know that they are going through a hard time. But then you got your other people who don't want to get a job, don't want to do shit, want to live off of everybody else, asking everybody for fucking money, and they don't want to get off their ass. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I wasn't lazy at some point in my life, in my teens, late teens, maybe even early 20s. But at this point, I can say I've always done for myself. You know what I mean? I've been able to do for myself and not call anybody begging for money. I don't understand where people have the audacity to not only get angry with you when you don't give them the money, but they want to throw things in your face about your life and how you live and what you've done and where you've gone and who you deal with. Like, Who are you? Because you're not putting in on this at all. Not one bit. And these are people that you've helped in the past. And that's why they keep coming back, the moochers. You know, they keep coming back. You do them a solid, you're like, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll do this, I'll do that. And it's not like there's no record of it, because there's plenty of records of it, but they don't care. And then they want to shit on you when you tell them, no, I don't have it. You don't know what's going on in my life. Because I'm not telling anybody. It's none of your fucking business. And if I say, no, I don't have it, I ain't got it. Because again, I'm always willing to help people. But
So
now, hold on. Now I feel people take advantage of others when it comes to that. And I just don't understand, especially when you've helped them in the past. How can you do someone like that? How can you say shitty things to that person and expect the relationship to be the same? I don't understand that. I don't get when someone treats you badly, but all of a sudden the next day or a week from now or a month from now, oh, they've forgotten. I just want to move on from this. No, it doesn't work like that. You owe apologies, and let me just let you know it's different now. We're different. The relationship is different. You've changed and altered this relationship. And that's how I feel about that. Go ahead.
I don't have anything else to say about it. I think you've said everything. Um, so yeah, but wrapping back around to the Audacity, I think I think a lot of this stuff has to stop with people just coming at people and asking them who they are, what they are, and why they're here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like eventually what's going to end up happening is someone's going to encounter the wrong one on the wrong
I mean, they
day at
have.
the wrong time,
They have.
and it's going to become more and more prevalent.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that.
No, I
And
get that.
these people need to really mind their own business. I mean, if it's your property and someone's on it, that's one thing. You know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
it's a apartment complex and someone you see someone delivering food, leave them the f alone. There's nothing there for you to question. If you see somebody trying to go into their apartment complex and you don't know them, so what? Leave them alone. You know, a lot of these people need to take a step back and stay out of people's business before they become someone's business. And a lot of people don't realize that, and they think that they can just say and talk and treat people however they want to in that moment,
Yeah.
and don't realize that you don't know who this person is, you don't know what this person is capable of, and you don't know what this person may do in reaction to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And for your own safety, you should just leave it alone. And if you feel like it is something nefarious, then call the police. Don't take it upon yourself to walk up on people. You know, you walk up on someone in a that's sitting in a car minding their own business. How do you know that they're not armed? How do you know?
Yeah.
They don't even have to be armed with a gun. I'm just saying armed in general. And you're walking up to this person. You don't know if this person is mentally stable or not stable. And you're walking up to this person trying to sweat them. Leave people alone, especially in the public. Especially in the public. If someone's parked somewhere and you don't recognize the car or the person, if you feel that they're up to nefarious actions, call the police. Don't walk up on them, because you never know what is going to happen and what that outcome could be.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're going to be talking about, oh, all I wanted to do is ask them who they were and why they were here. Well, guess what? That's not your job.
No, but they make it their job.
And that's why when things go wrong and go bad for the people that they do this to, who are doing this to people, I find it hilarious. I find no remorse that they got injured. They should have left that person alone. They had no reason to interact with that person in any way.
Yeah.
So I find it hilarious when it goes wrong. There's been countless videos that have surfaced online where these type of things happen and it goes left real quick. Or they sit there and make an ass out of themselves and show all this bullshit because just as you're recording, the other party is recording as well. And the camera doesn't lie. I mean, it can, but you're gonna have to have some skills. But it doesn't lie. You know what I mean? Especially in these type of situations.
Yeah.
Especially when you see people talking about, oh, ow, ow, he hit me, or oh, the dog bit me, and the dog's in full camera view. The person's in full camera view,
No,
and
I
it's like
get
no
that.
one touched you. No,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Why are you? Do you
Now,
have mental health issues?
now, well, see, that's what I was gonna say. Is now they've become the riffraff.
Yeah,
They are the riffraff of the neighborhood.
yeah.
They are, everybody's neighborhood Karen, and yeah, they're the riffraff. Now they're the ones doing illegal shit. I mean, go on TikTok, do the hashtag Karen, and you will see so many videos of these people, and they're mainly white, and they're just talking shit to people of color. Like when during the pandemic, it was an old couple sat across from I want to say two black people. I'm not sure if it was two or one, but I know the gentleman was like, she came over to tell him that he needs to put his mask on. He was eating.
Yeah. How's he supposed to eat?
He was eating, and her husband doesn't have his mask on because he's eating. But she's telling him, you need to put your mask on. He said, how am I going to eat, man? She said, I don't care. You need to put your mask on. She's an old lady, but it doesn't make it right. Like, what made this ancient fucking relic come up to this man and tell him that when her own motherfucking husband isn't doing that? Like, I don't understand where these people got the fucking nerve to walk up to other people and tell them how to live.
Well,
I don't get it.
it's again, like I said, when people start taking action against these people, that's when they want to play the victim. But anyway,
No, they do. That's what I'm saying in the videos time and time again. There was the one in New York with the dog and the leash, and dude was an educated dude, and he said, your dog's not on a leash. Your dog needs to be on a leash. And she's like, oh my God, he's attacking me, and whatever. She did the whole phone thing.
yeah, she was attacked with words.
Yeah, and she didn't like it, and she
Curse
felt
words,
again.
not swears.
She's not even American. If I believe she's
I don't
Canadian.
know what she was,
but regardless,
she should
in
be
our
deported.
world, in our eyes, the way we see her, she's a white woman, and she tried to get this black gentleman thrown in jail or killed.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be one or two things. And he videotaped the whole thing. And she should be ashamed of herself. She got fired, all this drama. She feels sorry. At this point, most of America doesn't care for your apology because
We've seen
you
it.
shouldn't have done that shit to
synced it.
begin with.
He didn't
And
say
who's
anything
to
out of
say,
line.
hold on, who's to say that she's never done this before and it was just not recorded?
Yeah. Well, on that note, I think it's time by the buzzer to go ahead and close the show.
Pay
the
for
day.
your own shit and stay the fuck out of people's business.
That is the takeaway for today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
All right, peace.
Peace.